Computer audio. Yo, what's up, guys? Wait, hold on. Yo, can you hear?
Yo, what's up?
What's up, dudes?
How you doing?
How's everyone doing?
How you doing, Pasha?
Yo, I'm chilling, bro.
I just want to stop it and say hi. I saw
Yeah.
the meeting was starting, but what's it called? I wanted to
I've-
stop and say hi and send my regards to you.
Thanks,
We have
bro.
class in 10, but we wanted to we have like online class in 10. Yeah.
But we
I just
wanted
wanted
to
to
stop
say
it
what's
and
up.
say hi. How you doing?
Yo, I'm chilling, bro.
Great to hear.
You got 10 minutes for Torah or 5 minutes?
Sure,
Like 5, I guess. Yeah. Let's hear it.
All right, yo. So I wanted to start this year. I want to talk about Corona, yo. Like, this is
Yeah,
a
let's hear it.
crazy time that we're living in. How do we deal with it? So, I wanted to, I don't know if you guys saw the Makoros that I sent. You can see them in English if you just press the side. I can
Side.
turn them, yeah, if you press like, here, if you want to see the Makoros in English, I'll send you guys the Makoros in English on the chat.
Is that what Ravini sent?
Yeah, but
Yeah, I have it. Oh, there it is also.
All right, so
I have it. Yeah.
So we start off, by with. So I wanted to learn. I wanted to see the Magefo. When in the Torah was Am Yisrael in like a situation where everyone was dying, or people were dying.
When?
Yeah,
With the Paraduma.
the Paraduma and Parshas Chukas.
Indeed.
Right after the Paraduma, the snakes.
Right after part. Yeah.
Good
Okay.
call, bro. So
That was
it says that they went Vayisu Mehar HaHor Derech Yam Suf L'Spov Es HaAretz L'Spov Eretz Adom. They went around Edom. Vatiktzar Nefesh Ha'am Baderech. Very important phrase that their nefesh, Vatiktzar Nefesh Ha'am Baderech. Right. So, what's going on, man? Art, it's Kakalagin. Welcome. So we just started this year. We just started like the sugya. We're talking about when in the Torah were there cases of mass death, and like what went down during that time. So we saw by the snake, right, that they went from Harahor, and so first it's Vatiktzar Nefesh Ha'am Baderech. Their soul, their nefesh, it got smaller. It got thin. We have to see what right. We have to see like what that is, right? Okay. So they speak by Daber Am Belohim Moshe Lama Elisunim Mizraim Luz Bebar Ki Ein Lechem Ein Mayim Benafshenu Katza. Another leshon that happened to their nefesh. Then their soul became katza balechem. It was like disgusted with it, right? Hakalokal, talking about the man. Vayishlach Adonai ba'am es hanachashim asrafim v'yinashchu es ha'am v'yamaz am rav miYisrael. A lot of people died. It was like a pandemic. They didn't know what to do. We were speaking against you guys. We sinned. His pala Adonai prayed to God. Get rid of these snakes, yo. Like, we got to figure this out. You know? Make yourself a snake. V'sim oso al nes, put it on a stick. Everyone who was bitten would see it and live. Vayas Moshe nachas nechoshes. He made a copper snake, which is interesting because God told him to make what? A straf. He didn't tell him like specifics. Vaysimeu al hanes, and he put it on a stick. V'haya im noshach hanachash esaish v'hibit el hanachash and nechoshes b'chai. He would stare at it and live. Right? So that was the narrative. Now, the next makor that I bring is that Rashi over there on Vatiksar Nefesh. I'm not going to read the whole Rashi. It's a long Rashi. The part of the Rashi that I wanted to read, he's talking about what does it mean Vatiksar Nefesh. So he says the cold in the middle, the cold davar kasha ala adam, everything that's hard for a person. Nofel bo lashon kitzur nefesh ki adam shahatorech ba'alav. That like it's like something's happening to him and staring him. You guys know what staring means? Stare, like bothering. It's Yiddish. It's yeshivish. Staring, spriggity sprach, throw it up. The ein daito rechava, his mind was not wide and expanded. Lekabel oso hadavar, to accept what was going on with him. The ein lo makom besoch libo, he has no place inside of his heart. Lagur sham oso atzar, he can't live with like what's going on with him, right? It's very interesting. There's no place. Is nefesh. The nefesh is the das, and it's the lave. We see from this Rashi. Interesting. We're gonna see a Gemara now in Rosh Hashanah, right? And it's actually a Mishnah. And the Mishnah asks like a Pasha Kasha on this whole Maisa, which is, wait a second. Just because they looked at the snake, that's what made them live or die? Looking at the snake? Like, how does that stem? Right? Like a snake asks the Mishnah, V'chi nachash me'miz or nachash mechayeh. The nachash is what causes them to live? Ella, rather, bizman she'Yisrael mistaklin. We're in Rosh Hashanah Chav Tes Amud Aleph. You see the Mekoros. Bizman she'Yisrael mistaklin klape mala, when they would stare, klape mala, scared, they would stare at the heavens, right? Umishabdin as libam le'aviem shabbat shamayim, and they were mishabed. They were mishabed their heart. What's a good type for mishabed? What does this thing say? Mishabed. They subjected their hearts. They were mishabed. They mishabdin as liban levi and shmashayim. They were mishabed. They said that our lave, our heart, our thoughts, right? Lave das nefesh, back to the lave again. So when they were mishabed, when they said that, we're going to talk. I'm going to ask you guys actually what you guys think that means. L'shabed es libam l'shamayim. But when they did that, when they were mishabed es libam l'shamayim, hayu misrabim v'imlav hayinu mokim. If they looked at the thing, they looked at this copper snake, and they were like, oh, they were mishabed libam l'shamayim. So again, we see this appearance of lave, which I think is pretty interesting. Like, what exactly happened over here? By the way, welcome, Jake Weil. We can't see you, but we can see your name.
Hold on one sec. Trying to figure.
You guys have it's crack-a-lacking, bro.
Good to see you. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry.
Interrupt, yo? No such thing. Everyone who comes in, we're happy to have him, and at any time. Give you a little background that we're talking about a magefa in the times of the Torah by the Nachash HaNechoshes, right? And that was the first Makor. But now we're in the Rosh Hashanah, Mishabed Libam L'Shamayim, and then they got healed. So what's going on? What does it mean L'Shabed as Libam L'Shamayim?
You guys are on the third source?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the middle of the mission over there. Mechaven Libo L'Shamayim. So I think that we could blibe Shver on saying, well, what does that even mean, and how did that heal them? Right? There's so we have those two questions of what does it mean Mishabed Libo L'Shamayim? Right, I'll just So Mishabed Libo. Mishabed comes from the lesson of shibud, which is like slavery or service, like where Mishabed Libo L'Shamayim. So we're going to ask what that is, and also how did that heal them? Why did the snake heal them? How did the snake heal them? And how did being Mishabed Libam L'Shamayim heal them? Right? everyone, like we got these are big sugyas over here. We got to figure out what's going on. There's an interesting, the next Makor, I believe, the next Makor is, I put, before I got to the Slichos, I just threw in a Rashi. I'm going to skip the Rashi for a second, talking to the Slichos. And the Slicha says, Mimaka atzmecha, nitakein ratia, right?
Oh, push it. Me and Noah have to go right now.
Yo, so amazing.
Thank you so much, Pasha.
This, you guys will be able to see it. Thank you guys so much for coming. I love you guys.
Yeah.
And
Hopefully we could schedule a better time, maybe.
What's up?
We could schedule a better time, maybe, that we have some more time.
But
we had class, so.
Yeah, we're steiging here, yo.
Yeah, it's good. Good to catch up, though.
Have a great class. Much love.
Way to be, Pasha. Thank you.
Yo, for sure.
Thank you.
For sure.
Bye.
Bye. All right.
Nice. Now it's like old times.
Now it's like old times.
And then there were 3.
Yeah. So now, listen, we steigen duh. So.
Yo, wait, Reb Shmuel, are you saying? I just want to clarify. We're saying that there's one, the Mishabdin Libam Bashamayim. That we're saying that's according to Rashi. That's what, or according to the Gemara. That's how the snake itself healed. Or are we saying there were 2 separate healings? There's a snake and there's.
When the Jews looked at the snake, the Mishnah says they were Mishabe Libam L'Shamayim. When they saw the snake, they looked at the sky. They looked above, and then they were Mishabe Libam L'Shamayim. They subjected their hearts to spirituality or something. Got mad corona over. I'm kidding. Israel's chill, yo. How are you guys doing in America, though?
It's fine. New York's a little crazy, but Baruch Hashem, we're steiging here.
Yo, this is going to be a great opportunity for the whole world to steig. But we'll see that, So
isn't that the answer, though, Shmuel?
What?
Isn't the idea? Isn't that the answer? They looked at the snake, but how did the snake heal them? It's because they were looking up. They recognized the
snake.
Tati.
The snake caused them to cause some sort of cognitive process that, like, they were Meshabe Libam L'Shamayim, which were blibing shver. You guys remember what it means to blib shver?
It's a boy svara.
No, it's not a boy svara. Blibing shver is different.
I don't know if you taught me that one. Maybe Max.
So blibin, we have a turtle in yeshiva, and his name, I call him Blibin. Blibin the turtle. To blib is just kind of like remain.
Wait, what yeshiva has a turtle?
What's up?
Who has a turtle?
We have a turtle in yeshiva.
Actually, I didn't know.
Yeah, and we have a goat, a little baby goat called Korbenet.
That's great.
Yeah, like it's the female reboot of Korban Pesach. We're not shechting it. You can't shecht the girl anyways. # feminism. So you can't shecht a nekeva, a female sheep or goat. You have to shecht a dude, and it has to be in his first year. I was learning the halachas because here in Yeshiva's Gula show we learn the halachas of Geula Lamaisa. Because we've been saying this. Oh, I've been talking about this stuff for like a long time, and now all of a sudden, like Corona's happening, and like, wow, the world is just like, the world is ready for the world. Everyone's inside. Everyone could think. Everyone. This is an important time in history, and we got to chap Orion. But anyways, so we're gonna blind share. We're gonna say, okay, Meshabi Libam L'Shamayim, subject your heart to the spirituality. What does that even mean? Steigen da. But it caused them to make that cognitive switch and look at Shavayim. Now, we have this in Slichos, we say, Mimaka Atzma Mitaken Ritia, right? From the wound itself, we make the bandage. From the trauma itself, we grow. And so they were bitten by snakes, so they made snakes. What were they doing? They were bugging, right? But tiktzar nefesh ha'am, they were bugging out right now, like right before this. They had no ein daito rechava ve'ein lo makom b'toch libo. Okay, we're gonna return Mirza Hashem to this idea, but I wanted to take a look at another time that Mad Yidden were dying. But first, I wanted to bring a Rashi, a Nachash Nechoshes. Zogt Rashi by Nachash Nechoshes. Zogt Rashi that when they made the Nachash Nechoshes, so Rashi says, like God didn't make Rashi's bavorning here. You guys remember what it means to bavorn?
Yes, to preempt the question.
Oh, nice, bro.
You taught me well.
So proud, yo.
Your whole shear originally was based on that word. You're gonna call it.
Dude, Bavorn is the most important word in Limud Gemara. If someone doesn't know the concept of Bavorn, he has no chance of understanding a Tosfos and Kal V'chomer Rashi. So, Zok de Rashi, God didn't lo nemer la so shel nechoshes ella, right? God didn't tell him make it. God said make a straf, and Moshe's like, all right, what am I gonna do? Ella Amar Moshe Karu Nachash. It's called the Nachash. V'ani asenu shel nechoshes. I'm gonna make him nechoshes lashon nofel al lashon. So this is a fascinating Rashi because Hashem said to Moshe, say something. He didn't say like how to make it. This is Yerushalmi and Rosh Hashanah. I didn't bring in the Makoros. Yerushalmi and Rosh Hashanah and in Perek Gimel Lachates that says that listen, like Aseilecha Teva, Teva's Atzi Gopher. God told Noach how to do it. Aseilecha Shtei Chatzosros Kasef in Ba'alaischa. He told him how to do it, how to make the Chatzosros. Aseilecha Charvot Tzurim, which is a pasuk in Yoshua. God told him how to do it. But here he just says, like, make a nachash. So Moshe was like, what does God want? Wordplay, mide Orayta, nachash, nechoshes, lashon nofel al lashon. Here's Orayta for rap and wordplay, mide Orayta. I just thought that was fascinating. Nachash, nechoshes. You hear that? Rashi. And it's actually a Gemara. It's a Yerushalmi, right? And so that's like interesting thing about that, about Mechavin. Okay, we're gonna talk about that. We saw the snake coming to heal the snake, but somehow Mechavin Libam L'Shamayim was coming to heal their bug out, right? We said Vatiktzar Nefesh Ha'am Baderech, and then they say V'nafshenu Katza. They mention their nefesh, their soul, their chill. They mention it twice that they're like bugging, right? And 2 psukim in a row. And then boom, snakes come. So how was being mechavein libo l'shamayim, how is being mechavein libo l'shamayim in any way like a healing thing? Fine. Jared Sharf, welcome. We're about to move on to the next part of Shir, which it's in Ba'alaischa. Another time where Am Yisrael was bugging, and another time where like this terrible like pandemic happened to them. This one's explained in Yud Aleph Aleph in Bamidbar. You guys see, we're good?
Yeah.
Right there? All right, Moradik. Vayehi ha'am kimis einen nimra be'aznei Adonai v'yishma Adonai vayichar apo v'tivar bam eish Adonai v'tocho b'kitzei ha'machaneh. So basically, they were misoning, they were complaining, and it wasn't good. God didn't like it, and so he burned off the side, like the kitzei. Rashi brings 2 days in kitzei. Some say it's like the outsiders, right? Muksim shabahem the shiflos, right? Erev Rav, they were muktzin, like they were like we don't mess with those people, which I don't. Whatever, I have my thoughts about that. But Rishon Manasia Omer b'kitzinim shebahem u'v'gedolim, that it was dafka the gedolim that were hit by this pandemic, this plague. Fine. But Yitzhak Amel Moshe, again, they cried out to Moshe, Yispal Moshe al Adonai, but Tishka Eish. So the fire left. The pandemic was over. They called it burning because I don't know, because God's fire burned there. The asafsuf asher b'kirbo is avu taiva. They were the yashvu v'yivku. They were crying. Gam b'nei Yisrael. So this the asafsuf is the Erev Rav, and I have my thoughts about Erev Ravs because like I don't know, we told just in the last Rashi that like the Am Yisrael was very mean to the Erev Rav. So, but whatever, like and so the Torah blames them for like they were hungry, and then also Yisrael, and they were like, Mi yachlenu basar, who's gonna give us meat? Zacharnu es hadaga asher nocha b'Mitzrayim. We remember the fish that we ate in Mitzrayim chinam for free. Ez hakeshuim, v'ez havatichim, v'ez hachatzir, v'ez havetzalim, v'ez hashumim. all these delicious things that we wish we were back in the time. V'ata nafshenu yevesha. Again, we see this idea of the nefesh, right? We saw that the nefesh was in previously, right? In the last shtickle that we learned, we saw that the nefesh was katzar, and it was katzar nafshenu, right? And here we see nafshenu yevesha ein kol, built as a man is that we have nothing except for this man. Aman einenu, right? Ein kol. So, this is another case where Am Yisrael started bugging, and then the came, and then they were like, "Yo, we're Sher Makom Ahu," right? They call it Tavera. They're like, "Yo, Davin, pray for us." Fine. They were saying, "Oh, yo, we remember." They were bugging. Oh, if only we were still there. They were living in a world of, oh, if only this happened, if only that happened, if only that happened, if only that happened. They were, they were bugging, and their nefesh was dry. Their souls were dry, which is another lashon of nafshenu yevesha. Fine. Ein kol. What does it mean, ein kol? You guys
Got nothing.
Got a shot?
My Wi-Fi went down. I just joined back in. Sorry about that.
Chilling, yo. What does it mean, ein kol? It says v'ata now. Nafshenu yevesha. Our souls are the nefesh, right? Vriyuta nefesh in Hebrew means mental health. I'm not saying that the nefesh is like a person's entire mental kingdom, because we know that we have naran chai, nefesh, ruach, neshama, chai, yechida, that are different levels of awareness or consciousness or different facilities of the soul. I talk about it in one of my Chala for Malava Malka shows. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but anyways, for here we'll just say nafshenu yevesha. They were bugging out. Ein kol. We have nothing. So ein kol. So if I ein kol, there's no everything, but ein kol, right? Ein kol. There's
Well,
relaxing.
so much reminds me of Haman saying ein kol's in Shabeli. Does he use the word kol there also?
Kol's there.
Kol's in Shabeli. It's also,
Nice.
I'm just looking Tiltus is ein kol bilti el Haman or Haman and Enu. I don't know if it's a wordplay or whatnot, but
Oh, nice. Haman
sorry.
Einenu,
I cut you off.
the man. Oh, we're chilling here. Yo, so I'm thinking when you look at the word kol, so we have that Esav said, yo, yeshli rov, and Yaakov was like, yeshli kol, bro. I got everything I need. Bakol, mikol, kol. Avram Yitzchak Yaakov. But we have another place where the word kol comes in. My favorite pasuk. If you guys have read Jiggity Judamonia, I tell that pasuk at the introduction, right? Whatever. But I also brought it here. Tachas Esher, right? It's in Parshas Kisava, in the Tochacha, right? Tachas Esher lo avaretas Adonai Elohecha b'simcha v'tov levav may rov kol. So here we have rov kol from a lot of everything. Mirov kol. V'avaretas oivecha. So then you worship, right? Since you didn't do avodas Hashem, you didn't partake in spiritual pursuits or divine service, we'll type that word. Lo about it. You didn't serve God. You're Adonai Elohecha b'simcha u'v'tov levav, with happiness and tov levav. So I actually tov levav I spoke about in Judamonia, that tov is good and levav is good spirited, right? And so I say that's exactly what Aristotle was talking about when he was talking about eudaimonia. I talk about it. I talk about it etymologically. I say tov is good and eu is good, and levav and daimon, right? Daimon is like spirit, from the connected to the English word demon. Anyways, just so we have simcha, happiness, and eudaimonia, and tov levav. Again, we see levav coming into the picture. We see the heart coming in. Good-heartedness is feeling good, or just chilling, Mirov kol. Oh, okay. Mirov kol. The abadet is levecha. So you didn't serve God. You serve your enemies. Asher yishachenu Adonai bach. Like God's going to send you to them. The rav, hunger, tzama, thirst, the aram, nakedness, b'choser kol, choser kol, missing everything, right? And v'nasan ol barza al tzavarecha adish midu osach, and he put an iron yoke on your neck until he destroyed you. Right? So adish midu osach. Now in Judamonia, I don't talk about the end of the pasuk at all. I very recently got shot in that. But right, we'll get to it. First, I wanted to bring the Rashi. Rashi says mirov kol, and so what Rashi says is v'od shahai lecha kol tov. Okay, so for Rashi, that's Rashi's shot in kol, like that. It's talking about like that, like it's kol tov. Ain kol. We don't have everything good, or we don't have anything good. Over there, they're bugging. They say we want this, we want that, we want that. We have nothing. There's a mechilta, right? There's a mechilta that says, since you didn't serve God, mirov kol, bechoser kol. So he says, well, what does it mean to be choser kol? What does it mean to be missing kol? Shenitla das mehem. Took away their das, and then davar acher bechoser kol. Shiyu chaserim mit Talmud Torah. Which is interesting. They're losing their das. We've seen das before in this year. That nefesh was all, it was das and it was leiv. Right? It was like the intellect and the emotion. And that's what a person's we got to do work on, like figuring out what nefesh is. We saw that Rashi says that nefesh is like a person, maybe it's like a way to refer to their mental state. You know, I'll give you an example. You know when you say, yo, I got 10 heads of cows over here, right? Like, so what does that guy mean? Does it mean that he has 10 heads, or does it mean that he has 10 cows? Just, there's a word for it. I don't remember what the word is, but there's a word for you're referring to part of it as the whole thing. So when the Torah says nefesh, maybe they're talking about the entire ma'arechet of nefesh, ruach, neshama chaya yechida. We'll talk about that, but we're dealing here with you know, with things that have to do with a person's mental health, a person's right simcha or nothing, and they're complaining and they're bugging, and talking about their nefesh, talking about their leiv. And then the end of the pasuk talks about putting like a physical yoke on their back. It's what do you guys think? Does the end of the pasuk really fit? Like, we're talking about simcha and the absence of it. We're talking about being in, right? Since you didn't do it, then you're getting, and we're talking about gullus. They got gullus, which with Tusha. Since they didn't do avodas Hashem b'simcha, they got gullus. What's pshat in that? You know, I'll write down that question also. I can find my notebook. Most of the time I spend giving shares looking for notebooks and stuff. Well, so, like, you know, does the punishment fit the crime of gullus because they didn't do it b'simcha? Does that make sense?
It seems a little harsh.
Yeah. And like, doesn't God do midah keneged midah? Isn't a person punished, or the result of his action is like something that fits? Like, he did this, and so that happened. Like, it makes sense. They weren't doing it b'simcha. They were doing all of what they weren't doing it b'simcha. Ebazei galus.
Unless galus brings you to a point of shibud leiv, and shibud leiv is perhaps a synonym for simcha. So the problem of not having simcha in Eretz Yisrael is solved by putting you in galus, so you'll be forced to turn to Tati, look up at that nechoshet ki'ilu, and through that brings you simcha, perhaps.
So you're saying, I hear that. So you're saying that simcha is a din. Like, I didn't get it. Oh, yo, if this is Poslins, yo, that would be so awesome. Yo, you guys know Poslins?
Heard of him.
He's a legend. He's a legend in Orayta. But this could be a different Jacob, and I want to make, like, I don't be like, oh, it's not Poslins. Yo, Jacob, welcome.
Jacob
what?
I think it's Mitrani.
Yo, Mitrani, what's up, bro?
What's up?
Yo, thanks for joining us, dude. So we're talking about the end of that pasuk, which seems to be completely random, but we'll get to the end of that pasuk. A gift from Zoom. Love it. Awesome. Zoom took our 40-minute time slot away. Thanks, Zoom. I don't know. There's crazy things going on in the world. Like, where does Zoom come from? Like, Zoom just like popped up. Now it's like now everyone knows what Zoom is, even my Haredi uncle. So, if you guys would have bothered to check the Gemara in Erechin, that's how Rav Elson would always say. He would always like come to shir, like if you would have bought, right? Erechin. Rav Elson loves quoting Erechin. Ezu hi avoda shebesimcha v'tov levav. You know? Ezu avoda b'simcha v'tov levav. Hayomer zeshira. Okay, fine. Another raya for rap. But I thought it was cool. Also, it was from Eric. All right. The next thing I bring is going to answer the question that I never knew. What is the end of this pasuk? Like, we're talking about a person's simcha or his lack of simcha. We're talking about Eretz Yisrael. We're talking about Gull. We're talking about how he does it. But then all of a sudden, in the same pasuk, it mentions like, oh, also this specific thing is going to happen, that you're going to have a yoke on your neck until it destroys you. Kind of schwer, right? I don't mention this. This is the first, this pasuk I mentioned in the introduction to Judamonia, but I completely don't talk about the end of the pasuk. I had never understood it until very recently. There's a Moradik Yerushalmi. If you guys see, I brought it on the Makoros. There's a Moradik Yerushalmi. It says, Amar Rabbi Eliezer, V'nasan o barzel al tzavarecha zeh hara'ayon. What do you guys think that means? Zerayon.
Rayon or Harayon?
Zerayon. Yo, good call out. Geshmak, I'm so proud. Zerayon. What is Rayon? Oh, yo, dude, the Torah Tamima actually brings the girsa of Harayon, but the one that I brought on the source sheet is Rayon. Interesting if there's an afkamina in this machlokas gersos. This is the thought.
What does it mean?
So what does that even mean? Thought. This is the thought. The thought is the old barzo. What does it even mean?
You mean idea? Right.
The idea is an iron yoke.
The raison d'etre.
What?
The raison d'etre. That's the whole point.
What do you mean?
It's the idea. It's like the overarching klal. Like,
the overarching klal. I hear the reason the etra. The Torah Tamima explains this, and he says like this. It says Kolomar Zem mishetaka atzmo b'rayonos lachshov lidog harbe. Someone who's stuck in ideas, and he's thinking and he's worrying a lot. And thereby the idea becomes like a yoke. Even if he wants to get out of it, can't. The idea is like attached to him. He can't get rid of it. His thoughts are playing over in his head. He can't change his mindset. That is the klala. That is the curse in this tochacha. If you don't do it happy, if you're not happy, then you're gonna have like a tough time. You're gonna have a tough time mentally. It's gonna then now it makes more sense, because at least it's talking about a person's mental state. It's not talking about mental state. Oh, and also this physical thing of having an actual yoke. Not to mention that it already mentions that you will serve your enemies. And so why are you telling me like a specific thing? So they say, no, this is also talking about this is also talking about like a person's chill. This is talking about how a person can live, Now,
So do you think every time the Chumash talks about, because of the yoke, like that word "ol" comes up a lot. So
yeah,
do you think every time that comes up is talking about mental disability that it's
I don't know if it's a disability, but it's someone who's like dealing with that, like dealing with that stuff. Like these ideas are just like pounding him, and he can't get out of it. In that case, there's a Gemara that says that there it's talking metaphorically, and it's talking about a person's nefesh ruach neshama chaya yechida. But I don't know Ol Malchut Shamayim and other times that are talking about Ol. I don't have a raya that it should mean anything other than an actual physical yoke. Every case we got to talk about individually. That this case though, in this pasuk, is the Yerushalmi says that it's talking about a person's mental health, and we see that in other places in the Tochacha they start talking about mental health. First, they say the next source. Ve'fitzecha Adonai b'chol ha'amim, and you're gonna go right into Galus, into Chutz La'aretz, Miktzei ha'aretz v'ad kitzei ha'aretz, all the way from sea to shining sea, from China to I don't know Alaska, even though they're actually very close, but like they're the two sides of the globe, whatever. And you worshipped foreign gods. They didn't know you and your father's wood and stone. Next pasuk. And when you're there, you're not going to be able to relax. You're not going to be able to chill. Really, you're not going to be able to even stand in one place and just be like chilling. And over there, he's going to give you a heart that's infuriated or angry or like roges, like furious. And blindness of the eyes. And again, we see a lashon of nafesh. That davo nafesh, that like they're just going to be depressed and sad, and it's not going to be good. And all this came from the fact that they weren't doing it b'simcha. So like if they weren't doing it b'simcha, was this not already a pre-existing condition? I don't know. But I wanted to talk about Sham Lev Roges. Sham Lev Roges. The Gemara in the Darim darshins that pasuk. It tells us a story. I brought most of the story. It got cut off and but I can read it to you guys. The Gemara says that Ula was coming to Israel with Shnei Bnei Mechuza. Is that even true? Did I get that right? Ula b'miskei la'ari Yisrael is lavule train b'nei chuzai. So there were two dudes that were chilling with him. They were with him. Kam chad v'shachte lechavrei. One of them got up and killed his friend. Amar leila Ula. He said to Ula, Yos avaditi. Avdi, did I do good? Ula's like, yeah. The parle beis shchita. Basically, he was afraid that this guy's a killer. I'm not gonna. But then he goes to Rabbi Yochanan, right? Ki asal lekamei Rabbi Yochanan. He comes to Rabbi Yochanan. Amar le, he said to him, Til machat v'shalom achzike yidei over avera. Maybe I'm like, but the fact that I didn't tell him off, and I didn't say dude, we don't kill. Maybe I helped. Maybe I assisted. I assisted by not acting. Maybe my non-action was wrong. So Rabbi Yochanan says no. Amar le nafshecha hitzalta, again with the nefesh. He said, but here it means life. I don't know if we're gonna get shot in all the things, but we're gonna. These are sugyas that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and hopefully we'll stagger them up. He says, you saved your nefesh. Oh, there's a Gilyon Hashas over there. You know who Gilyon Hashas was? Reb Kiva Eger. And so I heard this. I have a Masorah from Rabbi Brownstein. The Rabbi Kiva Eger was learning Ian, and then he had a little bit of mental breakdown. His doctor told him, "No more Ian." He's like, "No problem. I'll learn B'kiyas. I'll learn B'kiyas." And he wrote Gilyon Hashas, asking from all these different places from here. That's what he did during his year off from Gemara. He wrote Gilyon Hashas, which is pretty cool. But anyways, Katama Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan was he couldn't believe the story. He's like, dude, you saved your life, so you did fine. But he didn't understand. He's like, I don't understand. Ksiv v'nasan Adonai l'chasham le'vroges over there in Chutz La'aretz. Bebavel ksiv, right? Eretz Yisrael is killing his friend in Eretz Yisrael, right? What's going on? So he says, Amar Leo Shaita lo Avrinon Yardena. Listen, we're still in Chutz La'aretz at the time, which is crazy. What the Gemara is going with that Havamina that in Chutz La'aretz you could get like angry, but in Eretz Yisrael, like Rabbi Yochanan couldn't understand. The Gemara accepts that Havamina. Now, this chilek between Eretz Yisrael and Chutz La'aretz, which Max actually was omed on before. He was like saying, like, yo, he was talking about that a little bit. We see one of my favorite Amoraim, Rabbi Zera, and he says in Bav Basra Kufnun Ches, it says Rabbi Zera Shvabida Avira Eretz Yisrael Machkim. He says the air of Israel makes you smarter, but that wasn't the Gemara that I was going to bring. I have a different order of here and a different order on my source sheet. Let's take a look at the Gemara in Pesachim first. He says, Reish Lakish Omer, Kol Adam Shekoes, Im Chachamu Chachmaso Mistalekes. Man, listen, if he's smart, his wisdom is going to leave. If he's a Navi, his Nevuah is going to leave him. That's what happens. Leiv Rogis, when a person gets angry. And so the Gemara in Pesachim is doing something fascinating over here. Because the Gemara in Pesachim is doing over here is saying that anyone who gets angry, which is an emotion, loses wisdom, which is intellect. And like making the connection, which is not a pasha thing to do philosophically. To say that there's a connection between a person's intellect and a person's emotions is not pasha, right? But we see that and so in Eretz Yisrael you're smarter, and so like there's like no chance of getting angry. Strange. Especially strange from this pasuk in Koheles, which says Ki berov chachma rov kas, and I do not have an answer for this. I'm bleiben shver. I don't know. Like over here it's saying that chachma brings anger, and over there it's saying no. Like anger is what causes chachma to leave, and Eretz Yisrael, which is this place where like anger is like not even like shayach. So I don't get that pasuk in Koheles, but I don't get that pasuk in Koheles. Like, and so we have to think about, and again, we're thinking about the connection, because this pasuk in Koheles also makes the connection between intellect and emotion, right? And I want to think about that a little bit, like, because we're talking, right? Because that's the sugya over here. That was what caused both of the magefas, and that was somehow what healed them, was making this shift of mechavin libo l'shamayim. I wanted to just flesh out this idea of Simcha and Eretz Yisrael more. I brought a few makoros that it's Vayaki Savo al Haaretz Asher Nasan Adonai Asher Adonai Nosein Lecha Nachla V'Yishta V'Yashavta Ba. Now, look two sources down, because like it's very hard to like move this. I talked to my sister, by the way. Shout out to Tali Herenstein and shout out to Safaria, but it wasn't so easy to like move like the sources and like change them. So like, but whatever. Zok the Orayta Hakadosh. He says, "Vayaki Savo al Haaretz." Says, "Amar v'haya lashon simcha." When it starts v'haya, it's lashon simcha. Lahayir she'ein l'smoach ela b'yeshivas Eretz Yisrael. To tell us that like, yo, you shouldn't be happy. Like there's no reason to be happy except for living in Israel or dwelling in the land. It's interesting. It's an interesting thought. But we definitely see the connection between Israel and Simcha. In the next one, or the earlier one also, these sources are all like, I'm not going to be able to look at the Safari Shabbat. Look. You guys chilling? Nice. So the very air in Eretz Yisrael is what makes them smarter, is what makes you smarter. And we see, by the way, Simcha and Nevuah, very interesting. Simcha, the Gemara in Shabbos and Davlam and Bez says, Simcha shal betzva. So right, it says, "L'lamdecha she'ein shchina shora lo mitoch atzvos." Lo, you can't get Nevuah with atzvos. You can't get Nevuah with atzvos. No, not schok, not kalos rosh. for anyone who's following along and doesn't speak Hebrew, like just you can press the A Aleph in the upper right side of the source sheet, and then you can see all the English. But I'm not going to send my Talmud in English. So nevuah is something which is like limited to simcha, and then I brought a Gemara Moed Katan, which says that Rabbi Abba is. Oh, I got a thumbs up. Nice. Rabbi Abba is saying about Rabbeinu, probably Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. He says, but it could be someone else. I saw the Gemara there for like a second. I just took this Nakuda. He says his rabbi was fitting that he would have Hasharas Shechina, that he should have Nevuah. Except what? Bavel Garmala. He was in Chutz La'aretz. Can't get Nevuah in Chutz La'aretz. So you can't get Nevuah when you're not the Simcha, and you can't get Nevuah when you're in Chutz La'aretz. Another connection between those things. The last thing I want to say over is in the name of my father. My father, actually, when I was talking to him about this idea, he made this Zoomshteig from Duchening, from Nesias Gabayim. So first, very interesting, and like we'll talk about this. There's a Havamina. He says Kohen, says the Shulchan Aruch, Kohen Ava Bishu Panoi no says Kavav. Even if he's not married, he can put his hands up. And we see that, and the Rama explains that the reason that I would even have a Havamina that he wouldn't duchen is because, like the Gemara says, that everyone who doesn't have a woman doesn't have simcha, and so like right, kol ashari below isha, shar below simcha. You don't have a girl, then simcha, and so you might think that you don't duchen, but a kohen that's single, he duchens. You would think that he might not be, but what case is the absence of simcha actually refraining people from duchening? Anyone know? So, what does he say? The Rama, he says, Nagu b'chol medinos elu. Rama was from Poland. He said, all of these nations, all of these countries, she'ein nosim kapayim el b'yom tov, mishum she'az sheruyim b'simchas yantif v'tov lev. Again, tov lev, right? Which is eudaimonia, good-hearted, good spirit. Who yivarech? Because it says, right, the tov lev. Only someone who's tov lev could really bless. Masha'en gain b'shar yavim, not in the other days. Afilu b'Shabbos, Shabbatot Hashana, because even on Shabbos, Terudim b'Hirhurim, al mechiyasam v'al bitul malachtam. In Chutz La'aretz, like people work on Shabbos and like you're falling behind, and you're like, oh man, Shabbos, right? And so then right. So since they're bugging out, in Chutz La'aretz, so there's no dochening, and even in Yantiv he says, "Ain't no simcha b'ayim ela b'tfilas muzav sheyotzin az mibeis haKnesses." You're about to leave, and so they're like, "Oh yeah, we're happy." V'yizmechu b'simchas Yantiv, right? And they're gonna have simchas Yantiv, and they're about to leave. It's awesome, Yantiv. It's gonna be a great Pesach, Even though we're not. It's not gonna be like the big Siddharim that we're used to. It's going to be, this is an unbelievable opportunity to like have all of these different experiences, and like the world is going to grow from it, and it's going to be amazing, and I'm excited to see like the New World Order. But anyways, he says that, so they're about to go eat and stuff, and so but even in Shachris, you don't duchen in Chutz La'aretz. So here, that's the third Zoomshteig that I made here. I brought now Eudaimonia, pages 14 and 15, where I talk about them. I'm not going to read them inside, but I just wanted to bring them where I talk about these three things. And the other Zoomshteig, which is that you're not Yotzei if you're not in Eretz Yisrael, right? It says you're Yotzei, like, Hatzevi l'chatziyunim. I could have brought that. Maybe I will later. But Hatzevi l'chatziyunim, you guys know that pasuk in Yechezkel?
Nope.
So there's a pasuk in Yechezkel that says make like a sign for you so that you don't. And the Gemara says, the Medrash says, make a sign so that it's not new for you when you come into Israel. You do mitzvahs in Chutz La'aretz, but like you're not like really Yotzei if you're not in Eretz Yisrael. And I wanted to say, and I say this in Judamonia, since they didn't do Avodas Hashem b'simcha v'tov levav, they got gullus. I was like, gullus, like how? But if a lack of simcha, Rabbosai, if a lack of simcha is right, like it's just if it's just a caveat and it's just like a hiddur mitzvah, so then why would they get gullus for not doing it b'simcha? So I say that you see that it's a condition, it's a tanai. And so I say that that's the Zoomshteig that I wanted to make in my sefer. And then I bring 3 other Zoomsteigs. But it's relevant because we're talking about simcha, we're talking about kas, and it seems to be Eretz Yisrael Chutz La'aretz. You know, I talk about the genus Loki. There's this idea that like each place has its like emotion, or it has its character. And listen, like I'm here in Eretz Yisrael. I'm talking to you guys from in Chutz La'aretz, but like you guys right now learning Torah's Eretz Yisrael, you know, and that's like the biggest simcha, you know. If you're learning Torah from Eretz Yisrael, now, like it's a little weird. Like Rabbi Yochanan said, what, like killed him in Chutz La'aretz in Eretz Yisrael? How could that be? It's a shock. Like people are killing people in Israel, and there are people that are bugging in Israel and that are angry and stuff. So we have, but there seems to be a special segula for simcha. And actually the Shulchan Aruch, the Ramah, explains it. He's like, in Chutz La'aretz, like they're worried, he says they're worried about their work, right? They're worried about bitul melacha. And so he explains it a little bit. I think it's like, it's an interesting idea. But it's an interesting idea. What do you guys think? Like, you guys think that, like, were you guys like happier in Israel? Like, was it something noticeable? Yeah?
Yeah, Pasha.
Yo.
For sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's dope, yo. So maybe there is something to this, but, you know, even in Israel, like, you know, people bug. But maybe there is a nekuda, a point where these da'avon nefesh, nefeshenu yevesha, all of this stuff, this mental stuff, like these bug outs, like are maybe less severe in Israel, or maybe there's I don't know. I don't have a shot. I just think that's fascinating that like we keep on seeing through all these sources that like, but what do we do? What do we do with kas? How does a person handle bugging out, you know, and like losing his mind? Speaking of losing his mind, Rav Shechter just came out with an unbelievable psak of Cray Pride, of Judamonia, of Superchill. He paskin that like, yo, like he said in the name of his Rebbe's grandfather. You know who Rav Soloveitchik's Rebbe's grandfather was? Reb Chaim. And so he says in the name of Reb Chaim Soloveitchik that even if a person is at like is gonna lose his mind, or there's a chance, right? Rav Shechter talks about like he's gonna lose his mind. He say like, yo, like, and Rav Shechter made I don't want to go into it right now. I'm still like processing the sugya, but Rav Shechter basically said that like, yo, it's pikuach nefesh, and like, you know, so he was talking about using a phone on Shabbos, or talking about using a phone dafka on Pesach. But if he's saying that it's pikuach nefesh, full stop, no caveat, so it sounds like, yo, like, that's amazing that mental health made it, like, finally made it into halacha. I mean, I spoke about it in Judamonia, but, you know, no Rav Shechter. And so Rav Shechter paskined what I wrote in Judamonia, which I thought was really cool. And, you know, I would love to talk to him about it. It's very interesting sugya. And it's apropos for nowadays, because there's going to be a lot of people that did not bug out, like in pre-corona times, that now like they don't know what to do. Like they're freaking out. Like, first of all, in America, New York, it's like, I don't know, like 1 out of 4 people is going to get it or something crazy statistic. 40% of all the cases in America is in New York. People in New York are bugging. People all over the world. This is a trauma, you know? This is a trauma that's a universal trauma. And, you know, we say that we say that the snake saved the snake. Looking at the snake at the Nachash Nechoshes saved the pandemic over there because they were bitten by snakes, and somehow being mechaven libo l'shamayim, subjecting yourself to spirituality, your physicality, your lave, and your mishabed that to spirituality, right? And shamayim to, and that is the opposite. That's what ended up fixing the bug. The bug is l'chora, the opposite of that, right? The opposite of that, which is like, yo, if you're buggy, if you're mechaven libo l'shamayim, you're understanding that, like, yo, like this physicality, you know, like my lave, but really it's all God, right? Spinozian pantheism, Cookean panentheism. We know this. We're right there, right? So I wanted to see what the Rambam could tell us about Kas. Now, right, we shout out Rav Aaron. We're talking about that everything's God and Shema Yisrael Nachad. So Rav Aaron did a shtickle Torah, and now we're going to go to Hilchos Deos and give a shout out to Rav Bini Zagazuntin Stark. So in Hilchos Deos in Perek Beit Halacha Gimel, the Rambam talks about, like, he says that there are certain things. Most attributes you should go down the middle. There are certain attributes where you go to the complete opposite. Do you guys know what they are?
Kas,
Anava. Yeah, that's the first one. Like arrogance, meaning you go to the opposite extreme from arrogance. And that's anava. And I would love to talk about anava, yo. I've been saying for years, you know, that like people are like, whatever. And like, I'm saying, listen, I'm not working on anava now. Like, I'm not working on it. But like, now I kind of am, because I see this Rambam. And so like, I definitely want to talk about anava. But I want to talk about the second one in this Rambam. So there's Gaiva, and the opposite is anava, and you should go to the complete opposite of arrogance.
Anuva.
And what?
Kas.
Kas.
Good.
He says also kas. He says also kas. He says ve'od. He says v'cheina kas midara hi ad limeoid. It's very bad. V'ra'oi la'adam. It's fitting for a person. Sheyisrachek mimena ad ketzei ha'acher. You should go to the complete opposite. How? Zok the Rambam. V'yelamed atzmo shelo yichos. Yeah, you got to teach it yourself. You got to figure it out for yourself. That you should get angry about. But the Rambam's saying that, yo, this is something that a person's got to figure out for himself. And I think that's beautiful, because a lot of people look at mental health, like mentally ill people. They say that go to the doctor, he'll fix you up. They look at it just like you broke your leg. You broke your leg, go to the doctor, he puts the thing on. You go to you're bugging out, you go to the doctor, he gives you a big thing. But says the Rambam, no, this one the person's got to figure it out. The Elamed atzmecha shelo yichos, and he says at the bottom, right? He says sheyanig atzmo shelo yargish afilu dvarim hamachizim. Person has to like make that cognitive switch, even if it's supposed to make him angry. Don't get angry, you know. The super chill, right? It comes internally, and the person's got to teach himself that. And even a therapist can help. Therapists can definitely help shed light. But, you know, in the end of the day, like, a person's got to take responsibility for his own super chill, for his own mental state. And that's a Moradika Rambam. Under the Rambam, I just brought Spinoza, because, you know, sheer without Spinoza. And so because the Rambam seems to say that, like, Yelamed Atmecha. Earlier we were talking about the Zoomshteig that the Gemara and Pesachim made between Chachma and Kas. And even the Pasuk makes the opposite Zoomshteig. It says that, yo, the smarter you are, the more likely you are to get angry. And the other one is that, yo, if you get angry, you lose your smart. But they make a connection between emotion and intellect, which Spinoza and we're steig. I'm just getting back into Spinoza, but Spinoza. I remember Spinoza said that emotion can only be controlled in the Ethics 4:7. An emotion can only be controlled or destroyed by another emotion contrary thereto, and with more power for controlling emotion. Meaning that, like, and Spinoza, I think, says like lemaskana, that like you can't think yourself happy. Meaning you got to play with, you got to pit emotion against emotion. If a person, and it's interesting because if a person was, if they were bugging and they were saying, "Oh, where's your mitzvah?" and mechavin libo l'shamayim, which is what he says, what Spinoza says is another emotion contrary there too. So again, we're going back to that idea. I think it's very interesting, interesting Torah and meaningful to figure out, for ourselves, and to figure it out. Like how can we feel amazing in our avodas Hashem? Ivdu as Hashem and b'simcha, right? Like you can't have one without the other. Right? They were doing all the mitzvos, but they weren't doing it b'simcha, and they got gullus. They weren't yotzei. So the Elamed Azal, the Rambam says, listen. Like, a person's got to figure it out. Now, we're gonna this next source that we're gonna see is Hafladik, because this next source brings, right. This next source is a source that we all know, right? The 4 Lashonos of Geula. Zakt the Torah Kedosha, Zakt the Eibishter to Moshe Rabbeinu, Lachain and more Livnei Israel, Eibazei. Say to the sons of Israel, Ani Adonai, I'm God. V'hotzeisi eschem midachas sivlus Mitzrayim, and I'm going to take you out of the suffering of Egypt. V'tzalti eschem me'avodasam, and I saved you from the slavery. V'ga'alti eschem, and I redeemed you b'zroa netuya shvatim gedolim, now stretched arms and great signs. V'lakachti eschem li la'am, and I took you to me as a nation. Again, he's talking about sivlus Mitzrayim. Back-to-back psukim. Ve'evesi, and this is the fifth lashon. Ve'evesi eschem el haaretz asher nasati es adil hazeh ta'avar mitzvah Yaakov v'natati yosem lachem v'rasha ani Adonai. So again, and it's interesting that they talk about Eretz Yisrael at the end. It's the fifth thing. We have the cup of Eliyahu, the kosher Eliyahu. Mitachas sivlus Mitzrayim. What is the first step? So we see, by the way, here that Geula is a process. It's not going to be like we're just chilling, and then all of a sudden, boom. It's a process, yo. Like, you got to enjoy the path. You can't be like, oh, we want Mashiach now, and if it's not. Yo, we steig in here, yo. We're working on it. So we see that it's a path. And what's the first path? What's the first lashon of Geula?
V'hotzeisi.
Yeah.
V'hotzeisi.
V'hotzeisi what?
Eschem.
Me?
Mitachat sivlus.
Sivlus Mitzrayim. What's the taitra, Bosai? What does it mean? I took you out of Sivlus Mitzrayim. What is Sivlus?
Suffering.
Suffering.
Okay, so the first step is that God took us out of suffering of Egypt.
Yeah, suffering. He took us out of Taka suffering.
Of Taka suffering. What's the next step?
And then out of Mitzrayim.
And now, what's the next step, bro?
Wait,
Every word you gotta read. Read me the words.
Sivlus Mitzrayim.
After that, the next step. After he took us out of the suffering, he will take us out of the suffering of Egypt. This is, you have a vav hipoch. V'itzalti, it's in the future. This is what I will do. V'itzalti eschem me'avodah, and I will take you out of slavery. That's the second step. Second step is taking us out of slavery. What's the first step? So you're taking us out of.
Yo, Pastor, I have to run. Thank you so much.
Oh, dude, this was Geschmack Steiged. I'll see ya.
I know.
Take it in peace. What's
Bye,
the next step? Is it take you out of slavery? But what's the first step? Took you out of suffering. But wait, does that mean that there was a period of time where Am Yisrael was still slaves. They didn't get to the second step yet. They were still slaves. They weren't suffering. And if that's the case, if that's the case, that means that a person is chill, a person, whether he's suffering or simcha or angry or whatever, doesn't matter what's happening to him externally. He can get there no matter what. He can still be in slavery, and slavery could look like it could be a person could suffer through it, or a person could be steigen through it and be like, listen, like this is a situation. We're stuck here in Corona, in our things, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Happiness. This is the lesson of Corona, that happiness and Superchill and eudaimonia and tov levav and iri and a lot of different ways to refer to this idea of chilling. It doesn't matter what's happening externally. They were still in slavery, but first step is that God took us out of the suffering. But wait a second. I hear. It's a nice word, Pasha. It's a nice word. Didn't the Rambam just tell me? Didn't the Rambam just tell me that like you gotta teach yourself to figure it out, right? And then what does it say at the end of this pasuk? Just like at the end of this whole thing, it says, "So I'm taking you to the land of Israel." Moses said thusly to the sons of Israel, "Below Shamu el Moshe." They didn't listen to Moshe. Why didn't they listen? You guys see the pasuk?
Kotzer ruach avoda kasha.
Kotzer ruach. Wait a second. We were talking about kotzer nefesh. All of a sudden, they're saying kotzer ruach. All right. It's just interesting, like that. These things and these concepts have not really been spoken about lumdishly ever. People in lumdish, people. Listen, I love lumdish, right? Rabbi said, keep it clean and keep it lumdish. Lumdish. I'm like, I can do both those things. Keep it lumdish. Yeah. But we saw that this like kotzer ruach va'avodah kasha. We love lumdas. Take a look back at that Gemara in. We'll just think about it because like I have a zillion farmer. The Gemara, it talked about the Gemara that we saw was talking about mechaben libo l'shamayim, which we're going to figure out. The Mishnah before that was talking. Why does that Mishnah come? Says the Pnei Yoshua, because the Mishnah before that was talking about mitzvah sichas kavana, and if you're walking past the shul and you hear someone do shofar, and like if you're mechaben, if he was mechaben, you had the kavana, you had the intent, and so like that has been done to death in yeshiva. I mean, obviously, still learn like lamdas and like we still learn, but this is like new territory. Talking about mental health, talking about these ideas, and like ruach, neshama, nefesh, ruach, neshama. It's fascinating. And these are much less often ideas that are spoken about. And in my yeshiva, Gula Shoal, it's Shoal because Shoal committed suicide. And so we talk about mental health. We talk about these ideas. We learned the other Gemara. We learned the Mishnah. They're talking about mitzvah kavana also. But we ask, what is kavana? What does it mean to be mechaven libo, to intend your mechaven libo l'shamayim? We ask those questions. So mikot zeruach va'avodah kasha, right? I wanted to bring this year to a close by saying that. So the Rambam says that you have to teach yourself, but we see that in that case, God took us out of the suffering of Egypt. What's the answer? Was it us or was it God? Right? The Rambam says you have to teach yourself. The Torah says that God will take us out of the suffering of Egypt. What?
Well, it seems that they didn't like that it was just God doing it. Like they couldn't do it.
They couldn't do it. Like the Jews couldn't do it. Like
when he told them that God was going to take them out. It says
because they couldn't do it. Yeah, fast.
It says mikot zeruach va'avodah kasha. They were like, I guess that wasn't enough. They were still pretty down.
They didn't listen. They couldn't even imagine that they were going to be taken out of suffering. They Kotzer Ruach. They were their emotional.
So does that help the Rambam? Because it's showing that.
Well, the Rabbah would say to them like, well, I want to say that Elu ve'elu divrei Elohim chayim, and that really there is no difference, because if we understand that we're all chelek Eloha, that the entire world is God, so then teach yourself. That's like what you got to do. You got to figure that out. But who are you? Who are we that teaching ourselves? Who are we?
Expression of God.
Yeah, we're chelek Eloha. We're part of God. God is this whole world. We're the part of God that gets to choose to become better. I want to say that that's pshat in the Chavin Libo L'Shamayim. They saw this and they said, oh, even our physicality is spiritual. This whole world is Kodesh. This whole world is Kedusha. And we were bugging before that if only we were in Mitzrayim. The whole if only, woulda, shoulda, coulda world. If only we. But they saw the snake. They saw the snake, and they were mistakel klap emaila, and they looked to the sky, looked at heaven, and they understood that even that they were mechavin libam l'shamayim. They took their intents, they made that mental thing, and like that's the step, that's the first step, is like the Rabbi says, teach yourself. But that's that avoda of like a person's own chill and like figuring it out, what he's doing and how he's living and how he's chilling. Like it's a person, but that's the Avishter. I have one more Makor and I have two more Nikudas. Because if we are all part of God, so then like this Geula, right? This redemption, this state where, and according to the Rambam, the Geula is just like everyone's chilling. Everyone's just like, there's no shibud. Again, shibud. There's no shibud malchus. I didn't bring that Makor. I should bring it. Like the Geula, according to the Rambam. Whatever. I'll remember. So this Geula, so it seems to be that we can't just sit back and wait, because we are the part. You can't wait. You can't daven away depression. You can't daven it away, and also you can't pill it away, or you can't drugs it away, and you can't therapy. The Yelamed Atzmo, with the understanding of Mechavin Libo L'Shamayim, understand that we're all Chelek Eloha, and if we're Chelek Eloha, then we're our destiny is to party, because God's super chilling. Obviously, God is like the infinite is good, he's chilling, but we are the ones that like we get to grow, and that with that comes sometimes, but we are the ones that have to do it. And in this next Makor, it shows an amazing thing. Zukt, and this is really crazy because like who brings Divrei Yamim in Shir? I never heard of Divrei Yamim. The way that I got onto this whole parak in Divrei Yamim is that I saw some girl's TikTok, and she brought different psukim, saying she brought pasuk number 13 of Divrei Yamim 2, Chronicles 2, chapter 7, verse 13. It says, and I didn't bring that because I just wanted to say it in her name. That's how I even got to Divrei Yamim. He says that in that thing, he says, I'm going to stop the skies, drought. V'lo yeh matar, right? It's not going to be rain. V'hein etzaveh es hachagav, also the chagavim, the grasshoppers. I mean, we know that like there's mad grasshoppers and like locusts and stuff in Africa and in Australia and in New York. There's droughts, and then it says v'im ashalach dever be'ami, and also I'm going to send pestilence, which is a plague, which is pandemic. That's how I got to this, just by seeing this girl. I don't remember her Instagram, but you can check it out in Superchill, the Zoomcast. I tell her too. Anywhom, I wanted to look at the psukim before that. Yud Aleph and Yud Beis, 11 and 12. Vayichal Shlomo es Beis Adonai. He finished the Beis Hamikdash. Ve'ez Beis HaMelech, and also his house. Ve'ez Kol Haba Alev Shlomo. La'asos, anything that came to his heart to do. Beveis Adonai, Uveso, it's there. He was just successful at everything. Next pasuk. Vayera Adonai El Shlomo Balayla. God came to Solomon at night. Vayomer Lo, said to him, Shamati es tefilasecha, I heard your prayer. Uvacharti b'makom hazeh li leveis zavach. You guys hear anything weird there? What about the verse 16, which is Ve'ata b'acharti v'ikdashti et habayit. Now I chose this house and I sanctified it. Liyosh shmi sham, that my name should be there ad olam forever. V'hayu einai v'libi sham, my eyes and my heart is there, kol yamim, forever. Anything strange? Ve'ata, wait. Shlomo finished. Vayichal Shlomo es habayit. He finished making the base of Mikdash, and then God came to him and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, like this is where I chose, and this is like my place, and this is like where this is like where I chose that like I'm gonna have my house and my name and my korbanos." And we're like, "You just chose that now." Shlomo HaMelech made the Beis HaMikdash without any instructions. God did not tell him where to do it. No one said anything. After he built it, God was like, "Oh, yo, this is where I choose." We see that you have to be proactive. We see you have to be proactive According to the Rambam, V'Lamed Atzmo, mental health, and in the Superchill, and in the sugyas of Naran Chai, a person's got to be proactive in how he feels. And when it comes to Geula, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Geula, and according to the Rambam, Geula, and like that everyone's chilling and there's no Shibud Malchus, no one's fighting. No more. That is Geula. When everyone's chilling, that is Geula. And the Beis HaMikdash was built from Shlomo's initiative. And then God was like, "All right, I'm down." And that is fascinating to see that, like the power and like what we can do. You know, we have to be proactive in our lives, in our minds, and hopefully everyone could be proactive with like this whole Corona thing and really use this Corona opportunity to grow and to learn. And I'll leave you guys with a vort on the Seder, which is like mamish apropos, and then the Leil Shmurim, which is the Aruch HaShulchan's parish on the Haggadah. He says in the name of Kedoshei Elyon, which is like maybe a reference to the Ramchal's sefer of Mikdashei Elyon, which is one of the Ramchal's lesser known Sfarim. But he talks about this. He talks about the two ways, two opinions of how the base of Mikdash is going to be built. Is it going to be built by us, or is it going to be built by Sham, like fall down from Shemayim? The Rambam says we're going to build it. Rashi says it's going to come down from Shemayim. And I don't have a quote of that Rambam, but I remember that Rambam. And Rashi, I have him quote of Rashi from Sukkah, Mem Aleph Amud Aleph. He says it's not going to be built by us. It's going to come down. It's going to come down from Shemayim. The Ramchal says they're both right. We're going to build it. We're going to be proactive. We're not going to wait for it to come down. We're going to build it like the Rambam says. And then afterwards or during, right? Or while we're doing it, God's going to be, Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Eibishter, is going to be mashlim. It's spirituality is going to be like, okay, but we first, the physical, we first have to move. We got to be courageous. And that's pshat. That's pshat, Rabosai. These two ways of like, first that we got to move. Mikdash Adonai Kunu Yadecha, right? Torah Tamima, the son of the Aruch HaShulchan, says that's the right and left, right? That's pshat. In the end of the Seder, when we're drunk and we're chilling and we're just singing songs at this point, and we say, Adirhu Yivne Beiso Bekarov. He says, build your house quickly. Bimheira, Bimheira, twice. Biyamenu, in our days, Bikarov, quickly. And it says, El B'nai, B'nai Beis Chabekarov. God build. Says, to me, the Leil Shmuel doesn't say exactly this, but he says he says a little bit of a different sickle, but I want to say like this. I want to say Azoy. I want to say El B'nai. El B'nai is the two ways that the base of Mikdash is being built. And they're both El B'nai because we're also Chelek Eloha. But by us, that's the first El B'nai. Second El B'nai is from God, but they're both El. God build. Because we're also Chelek Eloha. And so that's shot in the Seder. El B'nai, El B'nai. We're going to do it with our, and we're trying to psych ourselves up. We're gonna do it. We're gonna bring this geula. We're gonna heal mentally. The whole world is going to heal mentally. Post-Corona times, everyone's gonna be chilling. Amir Hashem, please God. Everyone's gonna be. We hope, because everyone's realizing what's important. And this is the El B'nai, the first El B'nai, right? We gotta build ourselves. We gotta build our, right? V'asuli mikdash v'shachanti b'socham. Make for me a tabernacle, and I will live within you. This is the idea. The Beis HaMikdash is this idea of chilling. Beis HaMikdash was an awesome place. Someone who didn't see the Simchas Beis HaShoeva never saw Simcha in his life, says the Gemara in Sukkah. Never saw Simcha. Right? I don't have to keep. I don't know where it went. I got lost on my thing. Anyways. No, here we go. Yeah, I'll turn it inside out. Check it out. It's a reversible kippah. So I got it in somewhere in Italy. Anyways, Rabosai, El B'nai, we're gonna do it. We're gonna start. We're gonna do the V'yilamed Atzmo. We're gonna be steiging. We're gonna work on building this internal mikdash, right? And then it will be, you can't do it because of Weil's board. Jake Weil, he said they couldn't do it. We see Coach Seruach, start, right? Start, make the beginning, make the step, right? And that will be El B'nai, and then God will help us. Unlike the second El B'nai, is that will come down from Shemayim like the Shita of Rashi. We see these two things working contemporaneously. We are able to. We see from the Ve'otzeisi Mitachas Sivus, we are able to chill in any situation. It does not matter what is happening to us, what situation we're in. It doesn't matter how many people are at the Seder. It doesn't matter who we're with. It doesn't matter what's going on. None of that matters. We should be chilling because we're Chelek Eloha. We're God. We're part of God. And so we should be chilling. We should be building ourselves during this time of Corona where we're stuck. And Amir Hashem, we'll build the Beis HaMikdash, but we'll only do it in a time where the whole world is with us. We're gonna do it. We're gonna go up and keep based tefillah lekol ha'amim. When we build the Beis HaMikdash, it's not gonna be like, we're like going. We have to see how this plays out. But it's going to be, please God, a miraculous time to be alive. And thanks for learning with me. And this is right here. This is like talking about these ideas, talking about mental health, learning the Torah Kedosha, and learning those sugyas, seeing how the Torah Kedosha talks about our leiv, our das, our nefesh, our ruach. These are big sugyas, and it was really a very big privilege for me to learn with you guys, yo.
Shkoyach.
Pasha, thank you. Honestly, incredible. I'm excited to share Seder.
Oh yeah.
I'm super pumped. Thank you. My family's gonna love it.
Seder's gonna be awesome, yo, guys. Hopefully, I'll see you guys soon. Hopefully, we can have more of these, right? I called this year Orayta Zoomshteig 1. I hear a sequel. But Amir Hashem, yo, this was great. I'll hopefully see you guys at the next one. See you guys soon. Amir Hashem in Eretz Yisrael, and keep on being good there. You guys are in, right? And also, the crazy thing I just thought of is that the Gemara is saying, oh, the pasuk says sham, right? Oh, your external circumstance is what's going to cause you to be happy or not. You know, your external circumstance. If you're in Golis, then like I can understand why a person would bug. But if you're in Eretz Yisrael, there's no right. V'yalamed atzmo. Maybe it could affect it a little bit in a certain way, and like you guys were saying that, like, yeah, I understand. And by the way, when I go to America, like I definitely feel a difference, but like, and anywhere in Chutz La'aretz. But even in America, you got like a person can get to such high levels of chill, and of avodas Hashem, and of kedusha, and okay, you can't be Mekayim mitzvahs, and you can't like really be, you know, you can't be Mekayim mitzvahs, but it's okay. Keep on practicing for when you guys come back. Hopefully, we'll see you guys here soon, and we will party in Yeshiva Geula show, yo.
Is that a real yeshiva?
So it was bugging. It says Sham Nigal. Wait, I'm not gonna get into that. I talk about this all the time in like all my shows. But Sham Nigal, it says by a suicide that Nigal Magen Giburin, it was broken. Gimel Ayin Lamed. Targum Yonasan says Taman Itburi, his shield, his psychological shield was broken, and he fell on his spear.
Wow.
That's Nigal with an ayin. My yeshiva, our yeshiva, the yeshiva that like we're starting. I'm like, you know, we're just starting it. You know, we're just trying. V'lamed atzmecha. Our yeshiva, yo, we focus on these on those things, and you know, like yo, we hope that people connect. We hope that like people. This is the time of Corona. All right, yo, I love you guys. This was awesome share. This was such a fun chabura, and till next time, have a chag kasher v'sameach. And sameach, yo. This is a tough time. Hero call. Yeah, be b'simcha, be happy, be steigen, be killing it, yo. This was really awesome. And
thank you so much, Pasha.
Yo, for sure, bro. See you next time.
Thanks, Shmuel. This was awesome. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Thank you. Be well.
Peace out. You too.
Bye.
Bye.